of Glenwood Fleischer, who was shot and killed by the Upper Pottsgrove Police Department. He was very passionate about the game of baseball. He was going to be a senior at St. Elizabeth's University, where he was just transferring into. He was supposed to report there Sunday afternoon, and unfortunately we didn't make it that far. This is a tragedy to me, that a kid who had never been in trouble with the law, has never had an encounter other than a speeding ticket at 16 years old, that this would happen to him. How do we go, first of all, from the little bit I know, the kid was unarmed. He was not trying to break in nobody's home. You know, he was literally walking from one friend's to another and ended up at the wrong home. We do know, factual, that at 12:32 a.m., my son was on a FaceTime call with his friends that were coming to get him. And I'm going to say that went to probably at least 12:33. And we were told that my son was shot at 12:35. So what kind of encounter could have ensued? What kind of communication could that officer have given him? Like, it couldn't have happened in 2 minutes, you know. And my son is no longer with us, and we lost a great young man.
This is breaking news. A tragic case in Pennsylvania is raising serious questions after a 22-year-old college student was fatally shot by police after, according to his family, he mistakenly went to the wrong house. The victim has been identified as Glenwood Bubba Pieper IV, a college student and baseball player who was preparing to begin his senior year at St. Elizabeth University in New Jersey. Here is what we know so far. It was shortly after midnight Sunday in Upper Pottsgrove Township, northwest of Philadelphia. According to the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office, police received a 911 call around 12:30 a.m. reporting a possible attempted break-in at a home on Snyder Road. Officers arrived at approximately 12:34 a.m. Police found Glenwood Pieper at the rear of the residence. Authorities say an encounter followed, and police opened fire, fatally striking the 22-year-old. But Pieper's family says this was a tragic misunderstanding. His father, Glenn Pieper, says his son had been out with friends earlier that night celebrating a birthday. Later, the group split up to spend the night at different homes. According to the family, Pieper took a wrong turn while walking in the dark and ended up at a house he mistakenly believed belonged to one of his friends. He reportedly knocked on the door and called out, asking to be let inside. The homeowner, believing someone might be trying to break into the house, called 911. But according to his father, Pieper soon realized his mistake. At around 12:32 a.m., he was reportedly communicating with his friends by FaceTime and waiting for them to come pick him up. Just minutes later, police arrived. His father says the family was told Pieper was shot around 12:35 a.m. The father is now asking a painful question: what happened during those few minutes? And could the situation have been resolved without deadly force? The family says Pieper was not carrying a weapon. His father told the Associated Press that he had a phone and a backpack with clothing and a few beers. Pieper was remembered by his family as a loving and kind young man. He was a college baseball player, preparing to begin his senior year, and hoped to become a high school history teacher and baseball coach after graduation. His death has left his parents searching for answers. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office says the Montgomery County Detective Bureau is investigating the officer-involved shooting. Authorities have not publicly identified the officer involved or released a detailed account of what happened during the confrontation. Surveillance cameras at the home reportedly captured the encounter, and that footage is being reviewed as part of the investigation. That evidence could become critical in determining exactly what happened in those final moments. For now, the case remains under investigation. The family says they want accountability and a complete explanation of why their son was shot. And the central question remains: was this a tragic mistake that escalated in seconds, or was there a threat that investigators have not yet publicly explained? Until the investigation is complete and the available evidence is released, many details remain unanswered. What is known is that a 22-year-old college student who was preparing to return to school will not get that chance. Glenwood, Bubba, FuII is remembered by his family and friends not simply as the person at the center of a police shooting, but as a son, a teammate, a student and a young man with plans for his future. The investigation remains ongoing, and authorities are expected to examine surveillance footage, witness accounts and other evidence before making further conclusions about the shooting. We will continue to follow this developing story as more information becomes available.